Hey guys, it's Pokemon Raichu 26, and everybody has their favorite Pokemon. And I feel like I've made it no secret that Raichu is my favorite. I mean, even if you're new to my channel, my username is Pokemon Raichu 26, so Raichu is my favorite Pokemon. Now, I'm going to make this as short as I can, because this is actually kind of a long story, but basically, Raichu isn't my favorite just because I think it looks cool, or, I like electric type Pokemon. Like, no, Raichu and me actually have a story, and it actually goes back to 2000. I grew up loving Pokemon. I've always loved Pokemon. I'm the youngest of four, so when Pokemon was like new and like big, like that's pretty much how I grew up. But basically, I kept debating between Pikachu and Raichu. I could never discover or decide who I liked better. It was always back and forth, Pikachu, Raichu, like literally, I could not decide. So anyway, here's the story. It's kind of random, but bear with me, it will make sense in the end. Okay, so I was learning how to ride a bike, and I had the training wheels and everything. And I was 4 going on 5, because this happened August of 2000, and I turned 5 in December. So I was 4 going on 5. So I'm learning how to ride a bike, and I got the training wheels, and basically I had a zip compartment on my bike, and there was a quarter in there. And so I open it up, and I find the quarter, and for whatever reason, I put it in my mouth. I don't know why I did this. I was 4. I can't remember why. So I put it in my mouth, and as I'm going into the house, I swallow it. And it goes down my throat. Like, it doesn't go down my throat, but it's stuck in my throat. And so I'm freaking out. I'm making all these muffled choking sounds, like I can't even imitate the sounds I was making. I just was scared that I was going to die. So I'm crying, and I'm choking, and I'm scared. And so I run into the house, and I'm trying to point to my throat and tell my parents what happened. I remember it took them a while to get it, but then finally they got it, and they took me to the hospital. Now, I know you may be thinking, how do you remember this if you were only 4? But I have discovered that if you're little, even if you're only like 3 or 4, like if something traumatic happens, you're going to remember it because you're scared, like just that state of shock, it just kind of stays embedded in your memory forever. So basically, I'm in the waiting room as I'm choking. They put me in the waiting room as I arrive at the hospital. I guess I should have mentioned. So I'm freaking out. I'm telling my parents, like, am I going to be okay? But of course, more muffled because, again, I'm choking. So anyway, as I'm in the waiting room, I remember my mom brought some books for me to read. And one of the books was Lieutenant Surge vs. Ash. So this is where Raichu comes in. For those of you watching that are like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? No, here we go. So I remember, again, here it is, Pikachu vs. Raichu. The 2 Pokemon that I'm always debating, who do I like more? And I hadn't even seen the episode. This was the first of it that I ever saw. And I remember looking at Raichu like it was the coolest thing I have ever seen. I mean, orange is my favorite color. Raichu has like the awesome bolt tail. Honestly, I was looking at Raichu like it was the coolest thing. And as I'm watching Raichu beat Pikachu the first time, I was so happy. I was, like, overjoyed. I was like, dude, Raichu beat Pikachu. Like, I'm happy that Ash lost, And then the scene where Pikachu refuses to evolve into Raichu, I was so mad. I'm like, you know what? Fine. Like, of course, these aren't my exact thoughts, because I was 4, so it was more like, why didn't Pikachu evolve? But anyway. So anyway, when Raichu lost to Pikachu the second time, I was sad. I was like, Raichu lost. Like, I was sad. So, honestly, then basically, that's when I decided Raichu was my favorite, because I just, started to realize, Raichu looked cooler. You know what I mean? I know it's kind of hard to explain, it's kind of weird, but basically, after my mom finished reading, they called me in, and I went in, and I'm holding my mom's hand, and she's basically telling me everything's gonna be okay, and I'm gonna be fine. And I just start thinking about Raichu again, and I start thinking about how Raichu lost. And I wanted to win for Raichu. I wanted to get the quarter out and be okay, and I wanted to do it for Raichu. And I know that might sound weird, because it's Raichu's just a fictional character, why do you care? But, again, I was 4. I feel like there's kind of a good reason there, because I was only 4, and, of course I'm a little kid, and, Raichu, honestly, after I read that, I saw Raichu as like a hero. Honestly. So anyway, obviously I'm alive and well, the quarter is out, and actually for the purpose of this video I made my mom go find it, and here it is. I know it's gross that I have it since this was in my throat, but my mom refuses to let me spend it, so here it is. This is the quarter that was stuck in my throat. And I also have this thing. It was like, I don't even know. So anyway, I know this is a random story, but every word of it is true. This is how Raichu became my favorite. I basically, saw comfort in Raichu. Like, as I was in the hospital, Raichu gave me the strength and motivation to know that I was going to be okay and I was going to get through it. And, honestly, I was 4 and I thought I was going to die, but I was okay. And actually, 4 months later, when I turned 5, I actually got a Raichu plushie for my birthday. I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. I don't know what happened to it. It was 14 years ago, but, again, Raichu, I saw comfort in it. It kind of was like my hero. It got me through that tough time, and I'm okay now. And ever since then, Raichu has been my favorite Pokemon. So even though it's kind of a weird story, I do feel like it's cool that I have a story, because some people, it's like, oh yeah, Dragonite's my favorite Pokemon because Dragon types are the best. Or like, oh yeah, Charizard, because Charizard's the coolest thing, No offense if Dragonite or Charizard are your favorite, I'm just using those two as an example. But basically, again, to kind of end it, Raichu will always be my favorite Pokemon. No matter how many generations of Pokemon come out, no matter what they make, nothing will ever beat Raichu, because no other Pokemon has the bond that me and Raichu have. No other Pokemon I can say comforted me through a tough time when I was a little kid. So again, Raichu is like my hero. I love it. Always will be my favorite. Nothing will ever beat it. So there you have it. My random weird story of why Raichu is my favorite Pokemon. Every word of it is true. I'm not lying. So yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching, and I'll check you later.